skeleton sleeping bag. It's a Trafan 300 DL. This is kind of 2 to 3 season at best. We'll go down to, they reckon it'll go down to minus 0.5 and comfort range about +5. So I'd say 2 season. Anyway, the zip broke, rendering it completely useless. Now, as sleeping bags work, the underneath of a sleeping bag is generally pointless, because as soon as you've got weight on that sleeping bag, all of the loft is lost. So there is no thermal efficiency in the back of a sleeping bag, so you're carrying loads of extra weight for no real good reason, which is why a lot of people go over to quilts. Problem with quilts is if you are if you thrash around a lot, where the quilt meets the side of the sleeping bag, it can lift up as you move around and let cold drafts in. Right, so this is a sleeping bag quilt, right? So it's a bit of an idea I've had. I've sewn it all up. I've filmed some other rough bits as well. So I've removed the zip and I've cut the foot box out because I want to make myself a quilt. Now, there's going to be, I think most manufacturers put more lining in the front or the top of the sleeping bag and less lining in the back because it compresses. So the idea is I'm going to remove this whole section. I've taken the hood off and pinned it up, and then this part here is the drawstring, so I'm going to tack that on afterwards. Right, so I'm going to sew down this bit, sew in the baffle, and then I can cut that off afterwards. Right, that's the side trim down. So this was the top. This little portion here is the back. So now we're going to sew on down this side and across the back, and then we'll turn it inside out and sew the other bit, I think. Right, so I've rolled the edge and I've done a zigzag stitch, so it should stretch with the material. But I was looking for some spandex, so this is super stretchy One Direction, right? You can see through it, right? So it's nice and light. While I was looking for spandex, I saw the shiny stuff, so I thought, well, that might add a little bit of thermal efficiency. So the plan is to lay down the bag like that. So this is my biggest roll mat. So I made it to kind of fit this. Shake. Right, so the roll mat sits right down inside. Kick my shoes off. So now I'm laying directly on the roll mat. If I roll about, I'm not going to get a gap down the side. If I pull it, it's going to stretch and give, right? So I can get in here, right, while I'm laying down, right? And I can roll over, and my body weight is keeping the sleeping bag where it is, instead of having straps going around underneath like you would on a quilt, for very little extra weight. And I've left in the baffles and the hood pull, so when I'm in there I can choke the whole thing up around my shoulders like that and just leave my head sticking out. So the only thing I've lost is probably about that much of the back, which is pretty much the size of myself out of the back of the sleeping bag, and the hood. So I'm used to wearing a woolly hat, and where I roll over in my sleep quite a lot, I often wake up with a hood on my face anyway, wondering where the hell I am. So I think this would be good either as winter sleeping with like a 3-season bag and having this over the top as an extra, or once we get to warmer weather, just carry that. Now this sleeping bag, I looked it up, it weighs 1,700 grams, which is quite a bulky sleeping bag to be fair, but it's only a test. And now it weighs 1,200, so we've lost 500 grams. That's including the sewing the extra stuff on. So, you know, we've lost, I'll tell you exactly what we've lost. We've lost all of this. Now that's the strip I took out, extra lining from the hood, and the whole hood section. So all of that is not filling up your bag, because this is a bulky old sleeping bag, because it's, you know, it's cheap. A few more trimmings there. So let me know what you think, guys. Looking here, yeah, you can see you've got, this is the hood pull, and then you've got the secondary baffle there, and then you've got my really dodgy stitching where I've attached the spandex, and I've used zigzag stitching so it will stretch with it. And the problem I find, you get it with bivvy bags, when bivvy bags are too tight and you get inside it, when it pulls it tight, that also stops your lofting. So I've left this, you know, nice and baggy, so I can get in there quite easy with another sleeping bag. And once I cinch up the top, that's going to keep all the heat in. The only problem with this is going to be, it's going to be a little bit tricky getting in and out, but really once you get your feet in, you can slip down, and roll mats are generally fairly slippy. So right, so yeah, cheers guys, happy new year and all that. I'm just going to go and kill my dog because he's an absolute sped. Preston, what the shit? Preston, you're not helping. Can you yeah.